This next storm system is set to change the United States forecast in a big way. We're talking about a major pattern change that makes it feel chilly even in Florida. Hi, everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Justice, keeping you posted along the way as we're watching all things weather right now. Please let me know in the comment section where you're watching from, and we'll get this conversation going. Let me show you what's new right now. We've got a front that has pushed through the Carolinas, now into Georgia, and eventually into Florida. And on that front is going to be a powerful coastal low. Meanwhile, we have what is going to be Hurricane Jerry getting closer to the Caribbean islands. That is going to curve away from the United States, thankfully, due to that same front that is moving through right now. But all of this is set to change our weather in a big way, making it feel windy. And for some folks watching right now in the mid-Atlantic, we're talking about a Noreaster that's going to make it feel like wintertime this weekend. So let me know where you're watching from Jersey to New York to Boston to Washington, D.C. We're talking wind gusts close to 60 miles per hour. This thing means business as it's moving through. Let's start first with the big picture, as I like to do, as we're watching Jerry. Anybody watching right now from the Caribbean islands? I know you've been watching and staying dialed in on this. You're going to get some big surf coming up, but thankfully the worst of this is going to stay east of you. Everything is behaving within this storm system. The new track out from the National Hurricane Center does not have the islands included in the track. It doesn't mean you can't get some of those outer bands. We certainly could get some wind and some rain, but I do not think that the worst of Jerry, which will be a tropical storm as it passes by, then becoming a hurricane, will be a problem. Same story for Bermuda. You're going to be just west of this as it curves away. Meanwhile, a coastal low will resemble a tropical system in the coming days for North Carolina, South Carolina, up through Virginia, and especially up through the mid-Atlantic. Thankfully, the models are behaving. The ensemble plume here from the European, the GFS, the Canadian, all looking good. No concerns there, no surprises. The trends have continued to be in our favor here, with it being several hundred miles away from some of these Caribbean islands right here. So good news there. We've dodged yet another tropical system making landfall right here. Two of these little tropical models are the only ones causing trouble. The rest of them are hanging out. I will say the Google is probably the closest in right here, and you know it's been behaving pretty well. Here's Google's DeepMind. It does have this the closest out of any of the computer models. It has its deterministic run in black right there, some 90 miles away from the closest island right here. So we'll have to watch that. Several of its ensemble members do take this closer to the island. So does this clip the islands? It's possible, according to that. Let's look closer at the GFS, see if it gets close. It does, but it's as a tropical storm, 60, 70 miles per hour. Not to discount a tropical storm. I know that can bring some flooding and can certainly bring some damage, and we don't want to see that anywhere. But thankfully, as it's strengthening, it's well away from any kind of land. Meanwhile, here comes our coastal low, which we'll dive in on specific impacts and closer in here in just a moment. But from the Outer Banks north toward Virginia, D.C., up through New York City and Boston, we're talking about this nor'easter really taking another form into Sunday, Monday's time frame. I mean, really another kind of ball game here. And then look at this. It may turn tropical as it gets way out there. Kind of does a little dance around Bermuda, which is fine by me. You go around the 65,000 of you watching, or not watching, hopefully 65 now. The 65,000 people that are on the island right now. Some of you are watching right now. I know it. As we look toward deeper out, are we going to see that Gulf, Central America, Caribbean threat maybe try to show up? Models are showing maybe there's lower pressure here, but our progressive fronts continue off the East Coast to where, you know, if we continue with this progressive pattern, it's just going to shear out anything that tries to form. And I think we're getting an earlier dose of some of these fronts. Things turned active earlier here in October, which means it's getting colder. Does that mean the snowpack's going to generate a bigger, thicker pack up toward the north? That's possible. Another factor in our winter forecasting that we're doing, which does lead me to believe that we could have an active winter season for many across the East Coast. I think we're due. I think we're due for a big snow, a couple of big snows even for the East Coast, Carolinas up through the mid-Atlantic. So we'll have that in the coming days, but here comes another front ushering in yet again another big cold front next weekend. Looks like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 20th through the 21st time frame, and here comes more fronts. Now, this deeper in the forecast is when Central America and the Caribbean start to come alive, and you see a little Gulf critter. It's been showing up in the models a time or two. Thankfully, with our progressive front coming in, it gets sheared out and kind of withered away on the 18Z GFS. Now, it's not just that GFS run that's showing it. Others have at times. Here's Jerry getting close to the island on the 12Z run. Here comes our Noreaster doing its little dance up through the New England coast, which I will detail in full detail in just a moment. It's peak winds, peak rain, so stay tuned for that. You're watching in Florida right now. I've got nothing cooking for you right now. The Pacific's been action-packed. You're, however, going to get cold. We're going to see some cold weather in Florida. I think 2 doses, especially the second one here, has the potential to actually bring in some 50s into central Florida. Maybe even 40s in the panhandle. Now we got to watch what happens deeper in. So here's the Caribbean trying to show Caribbean things. We would expect that this time of the year. Maybe even a hurricane here for Central America. Where does it go? Is there a front that's coming in time to scoop this up and move it toward the north? We'd have to watch that, but right now it would be for Central America. Nicaragua, eventually toward Belize. We'd have to watch that for you folks. Anybody watching right now in Belize or the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico? We'll be watching that. All right, so how close does this Jerry get to the islands? Close enough to bring in some 25, 30 mile per hour winds, and you talk about precipitation. We can look at that as well. Things are going to start to get wet for you Thursday. The bulk of that system is north of you. However, for many in the Lesser Antilles, it's going to get really wet Thursday into Friday. All right, those of you watching right now, let me know. Puerto Rico even gets a little bit of wind and rain as it moves off toward the north, some remnant moisture being pulled with it. That's about the extent of that. Then there's the coastal low. As it comes up here through the Carolinas, this is going to resemble a tropical storm and honestly has some tropical storm characteristics and impacts. But its core, its makeup of the storm is not warm core. It is cold core. That is just a semantic that makes it not a named tropical system. It's kind of crazy. And, you look at Superstorm Sandy. Nothing like Superstorm Sandy, let me be clear. But, so many people let their guard down with Sandy because it wasn't a named tropical system when it actually made landfall. There was no, advisories or heads up there that, to the extent that it really needed to be probably. And I think to the public, those watching it probably thought, hey, it's not a tropical storm anymore. We're fine. A storm is a storm is a storm. And in this case, we're able to do a lot more than we did back in 2012. All right, so here we are. Again, nothing like Sandy, but this is a nor'easter that's going to be moving up toward the north here. Outer Banks looking at some beach erosion concerns because another system bringing in, same thing for up the coast toward Jersey. I mean, just really a pounding going on here. What looks to begin on late Saturday off the coast of Florida. If we look at the rainfall here with this, precipitation, composite reflectivity, let me show you that. It's really rain for you folks in the PD, the Grand Strand, Charleston, and it begins Saturday night. Let's see what time this is. This is Saturday morning for the Grand Strand, Saturday afternoon for Norfolk, up through Richmond, up through Washington, D.C., getting really rainy, really windy Saturday night into Sunday morning. Sunday is just a raw day here through the Mid-Atlantic, from Boston to New York City to Jersey, down through D.C. I mean, this is going to be a lot of rain and a lot of wind and a lot of cold air wrapping around. And speaking of cold air, yeah, it gets wrapped around counterclockwise and it gets pulled to the south through the Carolinas, Georgia, into Florida. So this is going to be really, really wet and a really impactful storm, I think, for so many across the East Coast. If you look at rainfall totals out of the latest model, I mean, it's a pounding here for Wilmington eastbound through Cape Hatteras. The overwash and the tidal flooding here from even the Grand Strand is going to be pretty significant. The beach is just going to get not erased off the map, but the high tides are going to be extra high, so the waves are going to be crashing in at some of the dunes here. And you flood in some of that extra onshore flow. This is going to mean business as it pushes up through Jersey. Parts of Virginia here into D.C., up through Maryland, into New York and Jersey. We're talking 2 to 4 to maybe even 5 inches of rain in these locations. How about peak winds? Let me flip it back to the GFS, and we'll show you the European as well. But let's stick with the GFS. It has got 48 to 50 mile per hour winds toward the Outer Banks. You get up here toward Jersey, New York City, D.C., Boston. We got 60, 63, 62, so 60 plus mile per hour wind gusts peaking there. Let's look at the European. Is it in the same location? It is. It's a little bit more severe. You see those 65, 70 mile per hour gusts just offshore. There's a 69 mile per hour gust here as you get closer to D.C. I mean, this is going to be some significant impacts here from really Myrtle Beach up through the Outer Banks, overwash, beach erosion. Even Charleston could have some more beach erosion. Isle of Palms is in some trouble here as Aaron really did a number on the beaches there. So there's going to be some replenishment needed in the off season, and that's going to be likely up toward the north here. Better wait for the system to go on through and this season to end before we kind of do anything like that, because we got a lot of wind, we got a lot of rain on the way. As far as the 18Z European, it really brings the rainfall totals just offshore of the Carolinas until you get to the Outer Banks. Then it brings in some big totals up here through the mid-Atlantic, 2, 4, 5 inches of rain likely in some of those locations. So we went over the wind speeds there. Let me show you temperatures, because this is something that continues to be an impact even for Florida. So the cold front moved through today. Tomorrow is a very pleasant, windy day. 65 to 70 mile per hour highs here in the Western Carolinas. And then Friday morning, it turns downright chilly. First frost possible in some of the higher elevations of the mountains like Boone, 39, 40 degrees, got some patchy frost. But up here toward the higher Appalachians, there are freeze and frost warnings for parts of Pennsylvania into New York, down into West Virginia. 36s, 34s showing up. I mean, this is going to be cold, very, very cold, actually. Florida, you're not quite participating on Friday. Let's go deeper in the forecast. Here's Saturday morning. Now, remember that low is now situated somewhere up here. So it's beginning to yank down some cooler air. Not that it's significantly cooler in these areas of the Western Carolinas up through the Appalachian Mountains, but it pulls it farther south. Much of Alabama and Georgia now in on that, and it pulls it into central Florida. You're now seeing highs in the 60s in Orlando. That's pretty comfortable compared to where you have been. Panhandle gets into the upper 50s, Destin to Panama City, 57 to 58. And then you go into Sunday morning. Again, that low situated where it's at is yanking down that cool air. 64 in Orlando, 59 in Panama City. You go back toward Pensacola, 57. So, I mean, certainly yanking down some cooler air here. And then it starts to get warmer going into next week. But I want to show you that secondary cold front still showing up on our models here to some degree. Let me get to the good stuff here. Next weekend, here it comes, rushing on through. Looks like it's a little delayed, but here comes that next cold front. 30 showing up again. This would be Tuesday the 21st into Wednesday. So let me show you the European model. Let's back it up 12Z. We'll get in that second front here on the European model. Showing up here across the Appalachian Mountains on the 19th, next Sunday. We're talking that Sunday, Monday time frame, but that sends in another round of some really cool air here to parts of central Florida. I mean, comfortable. We have not been this comfortable in a while, and it would certainly bring in some chill far to the south. And it's because of this big dip in the jet stream. We got to watch it. Does it bring severe weather in some form or fashion? This coastal low is the main thing in town right now. That kicks on out by Tuesday. And then as we extend the forecast out into next week, ridge builds in, brief warm-up, followed by this next cool down. Progressive fronts, these fronts coming through are actually our friend. Not only does it make it feel a lot more like fall in many locations, but it also begins to keep the tropical activity at bay. Now, it can also scoop stuff up, but the wind shear with these fronts ends up blocking us from anything coming in from the west, steers this stuff out. But what you got to watch out for is Caribbean and Gulf stuff trying to form. And it does look like as we get toward the middle of the month, 15th through the 18th, stuff's trying to brew right here from the Cayman Islands to Jamaica over toward the Yucatan Peninsula. I think we got to watch that area. That would be our next area that would be suspect, and our next area that would cause me some concerns for the forecast moving forward. So, folks, let me know where you're watching from in the comment section right now. Any kind of questions you have on the forecast here, and let me know where you're representing from, because I know so many of you are watching in so many different locations. I want to be sure to feature you and let everybody know where you're watching from. So make sure you shout it loud and proud right now in the comment section. Let me pull up yesterday's comments because so many of you had a lot to say. Where is it at? There it is. Knew I had it up. Just lost it for a second. All right, so let me pull that up right here. So here we are. Who's representing today and where are you at? Got that? Can you see it? Good. Okay. We got Hope in the house. Hope's watching from Central Florida here. Hope you and your family are doing well. Prayers for everyone. Yeah, thank you, Hope. Going to be an interesting weekend here, especially across many areas of the mid-Atlantic. I mean, this is going to be a very impactful storm as it moves off toward the north. Watching from Georgia, hi, Nancy. Hi, Chris. The moon is so pretty tonight. Jerry was my husband's name. Thanks for the forecast. Hi, Virginia, and I'm so sorry for your loss, your husband, Jerry. I'm sure hearing his name certainly can bring back some fond memories, and I'm glad you told me that. So thank you. Thankfully, Jerry is going to stay out to sea and not come toward the United States as a threat. Certainly watching it for the Caribbean Islands, though, as I showcased in the video here. Julia watching from Central Virginia, but love coming to Florida. Doesn't everybody? Florida's so fun. Hi, Chris, watching from the skies in Central Florida. Thanks for the updates. Good day, Chris. Glad to see you're keeping well. We missed you for a couple of days this week as well. Donna had her surgery done. All is well here. Hey, that's good. What a good piece of news there. Hope Donna is mending well. Hope you guys are doing okay. Hopefully get on some of this cooler weather. He says, hope you had a nice vacation. Still hot in Pensacola. Hoping it cools down just a bit as outdoor work seems to be piling up. Doesn't it always? There's always this list that I just keep having of things I need to do. Anyhow, take care. Our number one newscaster. Regards, Mark. Hey, thank you, Mark. Sure appreciate you guys. And hello to Donna as well. Mary watching right now from Florida. Hello to you. Hello, Chris from Toms River, New Jersey. Thank you for the news. You bet. We'll keep you posted up there in Jersey. Gray says, thank you for all you do. Gray Smith from Greensboro. Thank you for watching. Angela watching from Whiteville, North Carolina. Enjoy your forecasts. Thank you so much. What else we got here? Angela, sorry. I said Angel. Angela. Or is it Angel A. Price? Never can know with you two, right? Hey, we love watching in Rockingham County, North Carolina. Thank you. Thank you, Lori. Matt watching right now from Charleston. Good morning, Chris. Thank you for keeping us updated on the weather. You're the very best. We are blessed to have you in Goldsboro, North Carolina. Thank you. Hi, Chris. My name is Jane. I'm watching from Sarasota, Florida. Thank you for you. Hey, thank you, Jane. I sure appreciate that. Sarasota is a very special place to me. There's a lady named Rose that's watching right now. Hello, Rose. Good morning, by the way. But like I tell Rose, my father-in-law, born and raised in Sarasota, so we go see his family quite often. He went to Sarasota High. We come down and visit all the time. We do all the things, Moat Marine, Yoders. In fact, I could go for some Yoders right about now. We got thanks for the updates from Charlottetown. Thank you. Hi there, watching from Oakfield, Maine. This is the best forecasting. Can't wait to see the snow forecasting. Oh, I can't wait either. Snow forecasting is one of my favorite. I hope you Florida folks can watch the snow forecasting with kind of some excitement for folks up toward the north. Although Florida's had more snow than we have in South Carolina. I'm a little bit bitter about it, just saying. Hi, Chris. I'm watching from Augusta, Georgia. Jerry was my brother's name, and Chris is my son's name. Thanks for the forecast. You said was. I'm so sorry about your brother's loss of your brother. I'm glad that you can hear his name, and like we said earlier with that. And good to know your son's name's Chris. That's cool. What a small world. Jessica says, thank you for your hard work from Douglas, Massachusetts. Hey, thank you, Jessica, for watching. David, good evening from Charleston, South Carolina. Thank you for what you do. Dawn says, hi, Chris. Dawn from the Twin Cities, Minnesota. Getting our first frost tonight. Yes, I knew somebody would be watching in the cold territory. Oh, man, just kind of a harbinger of things to come, right? But it comes in this time of the year. And before you know it, we're going to be really cold. 6 a.m. Wednesday morning, actually, is when you're watching right now, had to pull the potted plants indoors. Yeah, I got to start doing that too. I'm on borrowed time with that. I don't know that I have the room in the garage, but I'm going to have to find it. God bless. Thank you, Don. You too. Gene says, hi, Chris, watching from Jacksonville, North Carolina. Not looking forward to this weather, even though we need the rain. I don't like it like this. Thank you so much for keeping us up to date. Hey, Gene, you bet. I sure will. Rockingham County, North Carolina. Thank you, Lori. Rhode Island tuning in. We got Glenda from Simpsonville here. I'm so ready for cool weather and the leaves to start changing color. Me too. Some of my leaves are changing color in my neighborhood. I live in Simpsonville as well. Michael, have my whole family and friends on Long Island started watching you. They think you're the best meteorologist. Should my family prepare for the storm? Mike from Arizona. Hey, thank you for that. Got to watch that nor'easter. I mean, it's certainly going to bring in some big weather from Long Island, New York, D.C., Boston. I mean, everywhere in between. It is going to be a high-impact system this weekend. Wind and rain in 40s. I mean, that's just nasty. I'm not ready for that. Sandra watching right now from Marietta, Pennsylvania. We'll be keeping you up to date as well, especially when it comes time for snow. New Jersey in the house. Thank you for watching right now. Another former New Jersey family here in the Jersey Shore. Hey, thank you. Hey, Chris, Henderson County, North Carolina here. Love your channel and the way you love your subscribers. I saw where people hate, but let them means you're doing something right. That's what I've always heard before, right? If you're not doing something right, people aren't going to be commenting, right? No doubt. Yeah, I've learned that a long time ago. I'm in that business, right? Doesn't always make it fun, though. I can tell you that. But yeah, thank you for your kind words. Alden, you live in my hometown. Did you guys know I grew up in Hendersonville? Come see my family. Yeah. Franklin, North Carolina. Thanks for being here. Let's go, cold air. So ready for it in Clemson. It's still so hot here. Today was hot. I teach a class at Clemson University, meteorology, and boy, it was hot today walking around campus. But beautiful, as always, at Death Valley. Cape May, New Jersey in the house. I'll post some observations over the weekend. Downstate Mount Pleasant, hello to you. Watching from Orlando. Hi, Chris, watching from the Eastern Shore of Virginia. Greenville, South Carolina. Hi, Philip. Lenore, Caldwell County, North Carolina. Good morning, Chris. How lovely to see you. I hope you enjoyed your vacation. How is it looking for Sarasota in the next couple of weeks? Honestly, I have never seen almost zero rain in 10 years. A drizzle is the most we have gotten. As always, look forward to your forecast done perfectly. God bless. Hey, thank you, Rose. Things are, adding up quickly as far as the drought is concerned for central Florida. We got to watch this. It's one of those situations where this is the driest time of the year, so you'd expect it to be dry, just not this dry. I don't have a good chance for rain for you really in the next week. We're going to be watching it, though. You do look to cool down, though. I could see some 60s in your near future. Jacket weather, maybe not. But if some of the models are right next weekend, you could be. So we'll watch it for you. Watching from a town near Myrtle Beach. Thank you. I'm near Pittsburgh. We had some much-needed rain today. We could use some of that down here, so send it our way. Tyler, I'm watching from St. Augustine, Florida. Should we be concerned about this storm? Not in St. Augustine. I think you're going to be south of it, although it could generate some waves for you, some rip currents. But I think Florida is going to be just to the south of this. It's really South Carolina north for that coastal low. Alexandria, Virginia, Savannah, Georgia, Tampa area. Winter is coming. Hopefully, some of the upcoming cold cools down the Gulf a little bit. For sure. As for the naysayers, sorry, but Chris doesn't fearmonger. He just lets people know what the possibility is. I'd rather be prepared and nothing happen than be unprepared and something happen. Yeah, John, thank you so much for that. Watching from Tampa, you know that if you're down there watching and Dennis is talking about it, or some of the other trusted meteorologists in Florida, that you got to be dialed in on it. And same story with me. Like, I'm going to talk about it just like that threat we had in South Carolina. I mean, we were right there in the crosshairs for days in a row of a really impactful system, exactly 1 year removed from Helene. So I'm so thankful that thing turned. Did I have control over that? No. Was I on top of every model? Yes. And that's going to be the thing I'm going to continue to do, whether it's winter forecasting, severe weather forecasting. Bill's watching right now from Raleigh. We got Columbus, North Carolina house, Tampa, Florida. Cordell here, and yes, Deep Mind is a very creepy name. Thank you. I agree with that as well. As we transition into fall and winter, do you think the Southeast will be looking at below average winter this year? I know the last snowstorm we had here locally, we reached almost 9 inches of snow. My kids absolutely loved it. So now I'm curious if we could possibly see that again this year. I do think the East Coast is going to see a big snow this year. I think we're going to see a couple of them. We're going to be combating a couple of things, as we always are, but we are due. We are really overdue for snow. It's been all around the Mid-Atlantic for really 3 years in a row. But I think this is going to be a year we're going to see some activity. Excuse me. Lakeland, Florida in the house. Merritt Island, Florida. Live next to Kennedy Space Center. Hi. Let's see. Weirdos getting mad at a meteorologist. Do you also get mad at your doctor for telling you smoking has a chance to harm you? Shake my head. Thank you for that. I usually just watch until you start reading out the viewers' comments. Not today, and I left with a smile at 6 a.m. Hey, that's fun. Yeah, the comment section can sometimes be very lit. You should see the comment section on my Facebook page right now after posting that our next name storm is going to be the name Karen. Yeah, people had some fun with that. The comment section's where it's at today. Larry Roberts watching from Myrtle Beach. John, hello to you. How bad will Salisbury be? It's going to get some wind and rain. I mean, you could be in the 40s with 40, 50 mile per hour wind gusts, and I'm thinking 2 inches of rain. But it's going to be a raw day Sunday especially. So is Delaware not affected by any of this, or do you think it'll skip over us? Yeah, I think Delaware certainly could. We're talking about wind gusts up to 50 probably, and you're going to be seeing 3 inches of rain is the way it's looking right now. You definitely don't have to explain yourself. You're an amazing weatherman, and I just want to keep us updated. That person just seems to be trolling. Yeah, we usually get a little bit in there, right? Thank you for that. Thanks for your kind words. Nothing in West Florida for a while to be mid-90s, I'm hearing. Yeah, it's going to get hot again. It's going to get cool this weekend, hotter again next week, then another cool down comes in. Long Island's going to be getting hard. Yeah, Long Island's certainly on there. Let's subscribe to Chris and get him over 50,000. Hey, thank you. I'd love that. Somebody says be quiet. You talking to me, James, or are you talking to some of the comments? Who knows? Oh, here we go. It's always got to be the last comment. Why we got to end on this? Somebody was waiting for it, and it looks like some people are jumping over them here. All right, so let's see. You are obnoxious. You always make a big deal out of nothing. You get a tingle up your leg. I do not. Whenever there is even a tropical wave out there, thousands of miles away, immediately you start with your useless models. And guess what? The big storm is always first headed to South Carolina. How exciting for you. But then it doesn't even come close to the U.S. and goes out to sea. Why? Because your models are useless so many days out as confirmed by NOAA. I don't know what you're saying. But you just want to milk the views and bring in the suckers, scaring them for nothing. I'm very transparent. First of all, pause, time out, Lily. No, I'm very transparent. Hey, here's what I'm seeing right now. This is a YouTube page for weather. A weather YouTube page. So we're going to talk about weather. We're going to talk about the way the models are trending, what's happening here, what's happening there, what I'm seeing. Now, if somebody watches 45 seconds of this and says, hey, this storm is coming right for me, and doesn't check back in 3 days, yeah, they're going to be caught off guard, or they're going to tell somebody something at the water cooler and not be true. Okay, what else we got? Scaring them for nothing. Great job. Edit. Replaying to the, okay, this is not a name call, please. Below, I live in South Carolina, so I notice every time he says there's a big hurricane coming towards South Carolina. That's been one time this year, by the way. And it's every time. No, it's not. The point is he should not be predicting anything so early because he will be very wrong every time. And by the way, I lived in South Florida most of my life, and our meteorologist never did what this guy does. I've lived through many hurricanes and don't need your advice. Marie. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Marie says, what's your problem? Weather is forecasting emphasis for 4. Never accurate perfection, even with the best models. Things change in a dime. Maybe you need to watch a little more of weather documentaries before you spit diarrhea out of your mouth. Oh, man, comment section getting wild today. Good luck with the next storm, tornado, tropical storm, snowstorm, whatever comes your way. Don't be rude. If you don't understand, just say so. And I've never seen where South Carolina is always in it. Crosshairs. You're severely misunderstanding what he says. East Coast is always a target. We are. And I mean, folks, at the end of the day, somebody clicks my video, watches it. They hopefully will see my character, see the way I forecast. And either you don't, maybe it's not for you, Lily, and that's okay. Hopefully you find your way back here one day, but if not, that's okay. So here we go. Another one. I completely agree with you, Lily, and I live in South Carolina as well. It's okay. You're the one who is severely misunderstanding what you're replying to. Go back to school and then maybe come back and post something worth arguing. Okay. All right, folks, let's be nice. There's too much nastiness in the world to be hitting up the weatherman's YouTube or Facebook comment section, although the comment section's been on fire lately. Hey, I'm thankful you guys are here, and whether you don't appreciate it, and this is the only video you're ever going to watch, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for being here on this little piece of the internet, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. And folks, if you do appreciate this level of forecasting, come back and see me. Please like this video, comment where you're watching from, hit that subscribe button. Always important, hit that notification button. That will allow you to see when updates come out, and it will notify you like a text message if I post new videos. So thanks to all. Hope you have a great night, and we'll talk soon.